You ready for some high school basketball? Second game of our doubleheader night tonight at allmetsports.com. Matt Fetters along with Jeremy Huber. Great girls game we saw to start tonight, but now the boys take center court, and this should be a good one.
Yeah, Matt, you're talking about the match between Westfield and Edison in the Northern Region Finals, and two teams that folks really aren't that accustomed to seeing in this championship game, but obviously that just means that I think the fans and the players want it maybe just a little bit more than you might see the normal teams that are kind of in this matchup all the time. These guys know you don't always get to this spot.
Westfield Bulldogs have come so close in the last few years, and this is their first appearance at the Northern Region Championship game.
Yeah, and obviously they have a couple guys you got to take a look at. Of course, the big guy in the middle, Zach Elcano, 6'11 senior. He's headed to American likely. Also, Quentin Basil got to take a look at, a guy who will be going off to play college football, but he was the player of the year in their district, and he has all kinds of athletic ability.
We saw some great student body support during that girls game, and I think it's just going to get a little bit louder and rowdier here for the boys game as both ends of this field house are full with the black and gold of Westfield and the red, white, and blue of Edison. Edison Eagles coming into this ball game 19-8 overall. They're the National District champs. They had a 12-2 record in the National District. They were the tournament champions, beating Washington and Lee 63-54. Westfield Bulldogs, you see right there, they come into this game 23-4 overall. They ran the table in the regular season in the Concord District, but were upset in the Concord District final. Robinson knocked them off 62-60, but then they get back up on that horse and have rode it all the way here to the Northern Region Championship game. All right, now let's check in with Daniel Zimmett.
One player to really watch tonight from Westfield is senior Zach Elcano, a 6'11 senior committed to American University. What you need to do is make sure that you pay attention to them, giving the ball inside to him. Edison really needs to be strong against him on the inside because they're really going to try to get a lot of points down low and get those easy baskets. Back to you.
Thanks, Brian. Teams are lining up. We're getting ready for our national anthem as we'll start the second game tonight. And now let's check in with our other half, Brian Hoffman.
Thanks, guys. I spoke with Edison head coach Terry Henderson just prior to the game. He said he told his players to just enjoy this terrific atmosphere here at Robinson High School. Spoke about how much hard work they've been putting in since the summer, their fall leagues. Also of note, Edison has not been to the state championship tournament in 40 years. They're guaranteed to be there having played in this game, but you can be sure they're looking for more. Back to you.
Thanks, Brian. Both Brian and Daniel will be checking in on a regular basis throughout this ball game with some great information that they're gleaning as they patrol the sidelines for us here tonight, allmetsports.com. And we talk about these teams being able to enjoy the night, Jeremy. Well, one of those reasons is because they both have already qualified to move on into the Virginia State tournament.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Matt, obviously Westfield getting here, they don't have that long of a history as a school compared to some other places. Edison's been around forever and have been a darn good football program. You'd think a lot of times you'll see the football and basketball programs, they kind of translate over some of the same kids. To see the fact that they haven't been to the States in 40 years, that's a shocker to me. But again, they're here. They're going to look to go ahead and extend it as far as they can and maybe take home a nice trophy today.
Well, I think I might have lied to you, everybody at home. I don't think we're going to have a national anthem for this one. We had one before the girls' game, and they're lining up now, getting ready for the starting lineups. Looks like the Westfield Bulldogs will be considered the home team for this one here tonight. And their starting five will be Julius Rosa, you see him right there coming off, Quentin Basil, CJ Hill, Mark Gibson, and the man we've already mentioned, Zach Elcano. Zach really at 6'11", head and shoulders above the other players here tonight.
Really a true post player. You don't see that a lot around here a lot of times because you'll see guys go to the private schools, that type of thing. So to see a guy who comes in at 6'11" and be at a public school game, it's always something special to see. We'll see what he can do tonight.
Now the starting five for these Edison Eagles: LaSalle Mensa, Marcus Brumsey, Tyrone McCall, Chief Amoa. and Matt Murphy rounding out the starting five. Matt Murphy, a load down low for the Edison Eagles.
And that should be could be the matchup that decides this game, Matt. You look at Murphy, he's averaging almost 15 points per game. On the other big guy we mentioned, Elcano, he's at 11.7, though, of course, a little bit less of a scoring load on him. He has some more guys to help, so we'll see. I think another key in this one's going to be tempo. If you look at the road to the championship game for both of these teams, the 3 wins for Edison over Herndon, Langley, and Fairfax, they're looking to play games in the upper 60s and the 70s. Westfield plays their games more in the low 50s, upper 40s. So really, I think whoever can control their tempo has the better one in their favor, probably going to win this game.
All right, we got a fresh 8 minutes on the clock. We're getting ready to tip off this one. The Northern Region Championship at stake. Your officiating crew tonight is Matt Oblas, Derek Baker, and Mike Goodrich.
And interestingly, Matt Oblas actually is the athletic director at Freedom High School in Loudoun County, just down the road from Westfield.
Don't forget, for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, it's allmetsports.com, brought to you by the Washington Post. It's every school, every sport, all the time. Opening tip controlled by the Edison Eagles.
Look down low at that height advantage. It's definitely on Elcano's side, but you mentioned the B for Edison.
Amoa stops and pops, and Basil down with the rebound. Here come the Bulldogs. Gibson backs it up in the face of Chief Amoa. Gibson now with the kick out to the wing. They're looking inside for Elcano. There's the dish all the way out here to Rosa. Nice ball movement here by the Bulldogs. Down strong. Here come the Edison Eagles. Mensa leading the charge. Fouled on the way. Mensa will shoot a pair.
Look at that speed by Edison. They're looking to get up and down the court as we saw there. They take it, get the rebound, and run out quickly and beat Westfield down the court.
You know, it never ceases to amaze me, as good as that girls' game was, when the boys take center court, and just dial it up ×2 at least.
And especially with a team like Edison with some athletes, they're going to get up and down the court.
Sal Mensa buries the first of his free throws. So the Eagles strike first from the free throw line. Mensa trying to make it a 2-0 lead. In the face of the Bulldog student. And he makes them both. 2-0 Edison with 7:10 to play in our opening period.
And Edison, Matt, going to come with some full court pressure here. Not completely in your face, but enough to really cause some problems for Westfield.
CJ Hill gets it ahead. Gibson now. Looking for Elcano. Back to the wing. This is Rosa for 3. No. Nice rebound by Elcano. Hill now back out to Gibson. Again, nice ball movement here by the Bulldogs. No shot clock in Virginia high school basketball. They can take all night long here, waiting for their right opportunity. Trying to get it into Elcano, poked away by Matt Murphy. It'll be Westfield basketball.
Edison very active in their man-to-man, getting hands up, not letting a lot of lanes to get the ball into Elcano. Going to be some work for Westfield to get some good shots.
Gibson into Rosa. Gibson now, nice screen set by Elcano, doesn't go. Hill with the putback and the bucket.
Those forwards for Westfield, not that tall, and Hill and Basil, 6'4" and 6'2" respectively, but they're able to really get up and use that leaping ability to get some extra rebounds.
And we are tied at 2, just inside 6 minutes to play in our opening period. Back over to Brumsey. Wide open for 3, Mensa, got it.
It's a breakdown of the Westfield defense there. I'm sure Coach Ewell wasn't looking for that open for a shot for Edison.
Mensa with 5, all of Edison's points here in the early going. Elcano for 3, no. Nice job by Basil. Now up and in. Mark Gibson with the floater. 5-4 Edison, 5:14 to go in the first.
Gibson and Rosa, two fearless guards on the court for Westfield. You'll see them take it into the hoop, also shoot some big-time threes.
Murphy, no. Slapped back up, foul underneath. Couple players down. Basil charged with the foul, his first.
Good play by McCall there, really getting in there and trying for the tap attempt, but able to draw a foul instead.
You want a copy of this one? I'm sure you do. It's going to be good. You can find it at synthesismp.com. 5:03 to go in the opening period.
Chauncey Beckett got a hand on that one, knock out of bounds, and Beckett really a little spark plug when he comes in the game. Just 5'10", but usually very active and kind of mixes it up with the other team and usually ends up a couple good things happening once he does mix it up.
Mensa back up to Brumsey. Brumsey, around they go, looking for an opening down low. Brumsey loses it. Bulldog ball. Here comes Beckett. Beckett wisely. Elcano. 6-5, Westfield, 4.5 to go in the first period.
Nice move in the post there, just a little drop step, able to go ahead and get by Murphy.
Hill, Gibson, and Elcano on the scoreboard for Westfield. Mensa has done all the scoring for Edison. For three. Elcano down with the rebound. Inside 4 minutes to go in the first. Rosa to Hill. Hill will set it up for the Bulldogs. Now Beckett takes charge with 3:40 to play in the first. Just a little shy, gets his own rebound though. Hammered underneath. Call a held ball. It will still be Westfield basketball.
And that one is athlete on athlete. You're going to find any better athletes in the northern region than Quentin Basil, but that time Marcus Brumsey able to get up in sky and block that shot and create the jump ball. What a play.
Now just inside 3.5 to play in the first. 6-5, Westfield on top. There for the quick steal. This is McCall all the way with the jam. Tyrone McCall brings the Edison Eagle students to their feet.
Not for the faint of heart tonight, folks. Throwing it down, taking it coast to coast.
Edison now with a 7-6 lead. 3 minutes to play in the first. Murphy up strong. Brumsey all the way. Got the trailer. Banging the bucket for Amoa.
Right now, Matt, I think Doug Ewell's got to find a way to slow the things down a little bit. Edison, you look at that last play, and Murphy, when he got that rebound, he was looking up court for the outlet pass, ended up dishing off. They still get down the court, but Edison's looking to push the tempo on any miss and beat you down the court.
Amoa to the line, up by 9-6, or the Eagles make it 10. So Chief Amoa completes the three-point play, and the Eagles are up by 4 with 2:44 to go in the first period. Basil gets the bounce.
What a bounce it was.
Inside 2.5 to go in the first. Murphy.
You're going to say that one hit the shot clock, I guess. I think the last time that happened in the girls' game, I didn't think it hit the shot clock, but the referees did.
As you look at it, you can see the shot clock hangs just over, a little bit over the top of the backboard. Elcano is hammered down low. He'll shoot some free throws.
Matt, it seems like it's starting to break down where both teams kind of getting what they want, where Edison looking to push that tempo and get down before Westfield can set their defense. On the other end, the Bulldogs trying to go ahead and get the ball to Zach Elcano before really Edison can double team him and let him score that way.
Elcano with the first of the free throw tonight for Westfield. And let's check in with Daniel Zimmett.
Listening to Coach Yule from Westfield, he keeps telling his players that Edison's passes are coming quick, but they're predictable. He wants his players to be really active on the defensive end and keep their hands up at all times. Look for them to start to jump in front of these passes that Edison might be telegraphing. Back to you guys.
Murphy from outside. Rosa up with the rebound. Gibson can't make it. Kicks it right back up though to Beckett. Again, Elcano, and he's fouled. And it looks like Brumsey will be charged with it.
And that seems to be a big thing with this Westfield team. I had a chance to watch them twice in the Concord District Tournament. And when Zach Elcano can get into a game early, kind of get a lather up, seems like he does much better when he gets the slow starts. Seems like it holds that way for the rest of the game.
Zach Elcano, 2 of 3 from the free throw line here in the first period. And there he hits the back end. 12-10 Westfield, 1:45 to go here in the first period. Murphy thought he had Miranda out on the wing, but he wasn't there.
Bit of miscommunication, just too quick of a cut, and like you said, he wasn't there. But interesting on the other end when Murphy, how quick he has the ball goes out of bounds now.
Miranda and Counts in the ball game now for Edison. This is Amoa facing Beckett. Finally down into McCall. He loses it. Bulldogs up with it. Here comes Julius Rosa. Johnny on the spot. Amoa gives it right back to the Bulldogs. Rosa all the way over to Perry.
And right there, Westfield slow it down. I think a scrappier game benefits Edison. Westfield would love to play a little more in the half court because they're able to get Elcano more involved in the game.
Beckett up top to Gibson. Beckett for 3, no. And McCall with the rebound. Here come the Eagles. 40 seconds to play in the first. Murphy, nice dish to Counts. Doesn't fall. Elcano over the back of McCall.
Elcano not happy about the call, but really anytime you kind of swat downward on a guy, they're usually going to call that play. You want to go ahead and try as best as you can to keep the hands straight up and see if you can catch the ball that way for a block.
Chris Perry is going to be charged with that foul, sending McCall to the line. McCall pulls his Eagles within a point here with 30 seconds to play in the first period. Murphy will take a seat for Edison, as does Julius Rosa. Don't forget, if you want a copy of this one, and I'm sure you do, go to synthesismp.com and order your very own DVD. McCall can't get the back end. McCall with 3 points here in the first period.
We'll have to expect Westfield to hold for the final shot here. The question is, against this tough Edison defense, will they let them hold for the last shot?
Or what kind of a shot will it be? It'll be Edison basketball.
And that's what that pressure can do, is it can kind of make you take you out of your game, make you play a little faster than you want to. And that's exactly what happened on that play, as Basil just ended up shuffling the feet and falling to the ground.
Counts works it up for Edison with 8 seconds on the clock. Campbell. McCall, 2-1. Somebody's got to shoot it. Did he get it away? He did, but no good. So the first period is in the books. And it's a 12-11 lead for the Westfield Bulldogs.
And interestingly, Matt, we talked about tempo and maybe scoring and where these two teams would like to have this game played. I think tempo-wise, it's been more in Edison's favor. Score-wise, it's been more of a Westfield-type game where we're looking maybe, if we're lucky, to get to the 50-point mark.
Matt Fairs along with Jeremy Humer, thanks for joining us. Thanks for finding us your new home for live high school sports in the Washington, D.C. area here at allmetsports.com. We saw a great girls game start tonight, and our second game here tonight. Everybody playing for the Northern Region Championship. Two great ball clubs here tonight, and it's just going to get better as we progress.
Yeah, and I think, again, it's going to be that style of tempo, that battle of tempo, where can it be Edison getting up and down the court and creating havoc with their pressure defense? Or will it be Westfield kind of slowing that tempo down a little bit and able to go ahead, get the ball into Zach O'Connor, let him post up, and maybe either go ahead, use that, and have him score, or maybe even better, can pass out of double teams those open three-point shooters and get more open looks that way.
Both of these teams not the regulars here at the Northern Region Championship game. Maybe some opening period jitters there in the first period. Let's see if things smooth down a little bit here in the second.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I believe Edison usually a Division 5 school and Westfield Division 6, but let's be more you might expect in a football championship game with this two teams' football traditions over the last few years. You might see that on the gridiron, not on the hard court.
Fresh 8 minutes on the clock, second period underway, a 12-11 lead for the Westfield Bulldogs. Zach Elcano is number 44 for the Bulldogs. He's the presence underneath.
He's made his presence felt there with a block shot.
CJ Hill looking for some help. Back up to Chauncey Beckett. And taken away by the Eagles. Lewis throws it away.
Again, that's Edison playing a little bit faster than their pace allows. And really, Westfield being a little impatient, not a really good entry pass. They're trying to get the ball to Elcano, but Edison doing a good job getting those hands in the passing lanes and not making it easy.
Go get the ball back. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it.
McCall can't get it to go. Murphy down strong. Chief Amoa brings it up for the Edison Eagles. Murphy underneath, patience, gets it. Matt Murphy with two. Let's go on over to Brian Hoffman.
During that last timeout in between quarters, Coach Henderson urged his team to get the ball down low to Matt Murphy, which they did right there. Also of note, a very frustrated Marcus Brumsey Jr. on the bench with 2 fouls, clearly wanted back in the game. Coach Henderson at this time electing to keep him on the pine. Back to you guys.
No reason to put Brumsey in there so soon as Eagles up 13-12 with 6:37 to go here in the second period. And another Westfield turnover. It'll be Edison basketball.
And a good job by Coach Henderson going with a little bit of zone here, making it tough. And that's always, you see it, it's tough for college teams sometimes to find big guys inside that zone. Right now, against it, really having trouble trying to penetrate it and get the ball down to Elcano and start the offense through that.
Moa trying to make some space, kicks it back around to Lewis. Mensa gets it in, up, and gets the bounce, does McCall. Tyrone McCall with 5 tonight. 15-12 Edison with 6:10 to play in the first half.
McCall had a big one last time out against Fairfax in the semifinals, scoring 20, so he's used to being the top scorer, averaging 11.5 on the year.
Gibson. CJ Hill now facing off against Amoa. Skip pass to Gibson. He'll go down the lane, gets it to Elcano for the bucket.
And a wonderful skip pass, like you mentioned there, really shifted that zone and gave an opening on the backside for Elcano.
Elcano with 7 here in the first half. 5.5 to play. Here come the Bulldogs. All the way up with a finger roll. Got it, CJ Hill.
What a fantastic finish by CJ. Avoids the travel and avoided 3 converging Eagles. It looked like they were going to swat that one out of the air.
CJ with 4. Coming right back, Chief Amoa. It'll still be Edison basketball underneath. 16-15 Westfield with 5:13 to play in the first half.
I think another question is going to be, will this pace take its toll on Westfield throughout the game?
Up strong, the bang in the bucket. McCall will go to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
That's a big foul. It's going to be on Quentin Basil, his second.
Don't forget, for all your high school sports stories, coverage, videos, photo galleries, recruiting news, you name it, we got it. AllMetSports.com, product of the Washington Post. Every school, every sport, all the time. Can't get it to go down, does McCall. 1 point lead for Edison, 5 minutes to play in the first half. Mark Gibson pleading with his Bulldogs to come on out and help him. Rosa for three. In and out. Battle underneath. Here come the Eagles. Quickly ahead. McCall.
Call the offensive foul there. But I tell you what, last time down, that was a good job by Westfield to go ahead and attack the Edison zone. One way to do it, there's a couple ways. One is kind of shift the ball side to side, make the zone move. The other is to put a high post guy right at that foul line and let him make plays out of it. It was Quentin Basil who's very good at that, able to get the ball at the high post and kick it out for an open look on the three. It didn't go down, but it was a very good open look for his teammate.
Gibson still directing traffic with his Bulldogs. He can direct all he wants, but the Edison Eagles are putting up the roadblocks. Up and off the glass, doesn't go down. Right back, long ball doesn't fall for Mensa. Back and forth we go. Gibson again, bringing it up for Westfield. It'll still be Bulldog basketball.
And again, last couple times down, Doug Yule's crew really doing a good job of going ahead and getting that high post guy, getting a good look to attack.
This is Rosa for three, way too strong. Tough shot with Derek Miranda in his face. Elcano.
But again, a wonderful look there by Perry to get. He does it from the high post. Great job, great design by the Bulldogs.
If the three ball doesn't go down, get it into Zach down low. He'll put it up and in. 3:40 to play in the first half. Three ball, wide right.
And Miranda really just wasn't in tune on that shot. He thought about it earlier, kind of stopped, and then said, I better take it. At that point, just really was completely off his game.
A little bit of a scoring drought here in the later half of the first half. 3:23 to go till halftime. 18-17 Westfield.
Now Edison's come out of that zone defense and going back to man-to-man after the Bulldogs hurt them a couple times down the court.
CJ Hill trying to dish off to Chris Perry. It'll still be Bulldog basketball.
Let's do this again. Pressure, pressure, pressure.
Zach Elcano. Gibson now backs it up. 3 minutes to play in the first half. CJ Hill. Zach Elcano, nice move, can't get it to fall. Murphy almost had the rebound. Murphy looking for a foul call underneath, didn't get it. Perry got it.
Wasn't the prettiest of shots for Perry, almost a set shot there, but he does get it to go down. Doesn't matter how it looks if it's effective.
3-point lead for Westfield now with 2.5 minutes to play in the first. Murphy right back. Murphy with 4.
He's taking a couple of those long shots, but it definitely looks like that's part of the offense. That's a shot he can hit, and if that's what the case is, usually the coach is okay with you taking it.
1 point lead here for Westfield with 2 minutes to play in the first half. Gibson now, baseline, dish to Elcano. Got it. No answer for Zach Elcano down low.
Especially when they're getting the ball in good position, which they've been able to with some nice passes.
Zach with 11 points in the first half. And they're on the defensive end. 3-point lead for Westfield. CJ Hill thought about it. Strong rebound by McCall. Up and in with a layup. Yes, Chief Amoa. Amoa with 5.
What a fantastic outlet pass by Tyrone McCall.
Doug Ewell wants a timeout with 1:12 to play in the first half. His Bulldogs up 22-21.
And I tell you what, I mean, that has to be worked on a little bit in practice. And Coach Henderson's got to be proud of McCall looking up and finding his streaking teammate able to hit him in stride to get an easy layup there. You don't see that very often at the high school. And really, you don't see it that much at the pro level. That's why when LeBron James and Dwayne Wade do that to each other, everyone goes so crazy because it's not the easiest thing in the world.
You want a copy of this one? Go to synthesismp.com and order your own DVD. Shaping up to be a classic. I think you're going to want a copy of this game. 22-21 Westfield, 1:12 to play in our first half. Doug Ewell getting his Bulldogs to the Northern Region Championship game for the first time. The football team has brought home some state titles. Doug wants to match what the football program has accomplished.
Yes, he does. Obviously, Westfield with a great football program, but the basketball program having a very phenomenal year.
Beckett now kicks it over to Chris Mullins, who's in the ball game. Little strong on the 3-point attempts. Inside a minute to go in the first half.
Question is here, will Edison look to hold for a while? Will they go ahead and just shoot? Obviously, pace-wise, they'll look to go ahead and get the quick shot, but they may look to run this out to the end of the half.
Murphy back up top to Mensa. Chief Amoa backs it up, sets it up for the Eagles. Inside 30 seconds to play before halftime. Eagles down by 1. Down underneath, Mensa. Foul before he gets a shot off.
Actually, I think you're going to say he stepped on the out-of-bounds line, but you're right. There was some contact there. I think that's what caused the player to go out of bounds for Edison.
So now Westfield will get the last shot of the first half. 15 seconds to play in the half. Back up to Beckett. Elcano calling for it down low. Basil can't get it, and that'll be the first half. A tight one, 22-21 Westfield, and we've played 2 periods.
Yeah, and really pretty well played, at least athletically. There have been a couple of turnovers, maybe a little bit guys playing a little bit faster than they're supposed to, but it's one of those things where obviously, you know, it's going to happen. You talk about these two sides playing like they do, you're going to have some turnovers.
Hope you're enjoying our second game here tonight of our doubleheader, both Northern Region Championship ball games. The Oakton Cougars brought home the championship on the girls' side before this one. Now let's check in again with Daniel Zimmett.
I'm here with Coach Coyle of the Westfield Bulldogs. Coach, how do you think the pace was in the first half? Was it what you like to see?
Well, I mean, I think that the pace was pretty much what we expected. They're going to try to get up and run and get out in transition, and we've got to make sure we're doing a good job of getting back in transition defense. But they're doing everything that we expected them to do, and it's just a matter of us trying to execute our game and do what we want to do, which also is partly offensively, you know, getting the ball down to our bigs and getting good, easy baskets for us.
What do you need to do to extend this lead and go on to win this region?
Well, again, we got to make sure that we take care of the ball. You know, we had a couple, turnovers that we just can't have in the second half. We got to maximize our possessions. So those are the things we got to do in the second half.
Good luck in the second half, Coach. Back to you.
Thanks, Daniel. 22-21 our score at halftime. Westfield Bulldogs on top. Westfield with 12 points in that first period, 10 there in the second period. Hardest man in show business, Daniel Zimmett, rounding up yet another interview. And let's check back in with Daniel.
I'm standing here now with Bill Curran, Fairfax County Director of Student Athletics and Activities. Bill, can you talk about the level of talent in the Northern Region right now, with all sports going on?
collectively, Northern Region has one of the better talent pools there is in the state. You're seeing it more and more. Even if you just look at what you see at the major college level across the board, whether it's wrestling, gymnastics, field hockey is booming in the Northern Region. Even though we compete with the Beach, it's got the National Training Center. We do real well across the board. Of course, there's football. We're collecting data now to really see on National Signing Day how we did and what that looked like, whether it was at the Division I, Division II, and even the Division III level, where we stand and how everybody did. We definitely have a good, strong talent pool and base here in Northern Virginia.
I mean, this is such a great atmosphere tonight. So many people came out to this game. Can you talk about what that means to have so much support out here?
Well, it's great. You can go to almost anything, and you'll see, you're talking a Monday night tonight. Game starts at, 7:30, 7 or 8 o'clock, I'm sorry, and look at the crowd we have. It's outstanding, and it just goes and speaks to the passion we have in this area for sports and athletics, keeping it in perspective, but absolutely driving that this is a great place to be, and better here than anywhere else. Better to be where we are. Better our students are here. Look at our 2 student sections. Completely appropriate the whole night, into the game, excited, but they're here with us.
Well, thanks a lot for your time, and good luck moving forward.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel. And he talked about the great turnout here tonight. And for those of you who aren't here tonight, thanks for joining us at allmetsports.com. We're glad you found us on your laptop or your tablet or even on your phone. You found the high school sports new home for live game action here at allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Sports website. 22-21 Westfield Bulldogs with a 1-point lead. Matt Fetters along with Jeremy Huber, and Jeremy, pretty much what we expected there in that first half.
Yeah, I think it was, and I think maybe I thought we'd have a little bit more scoring than we have, just 22-21, but as Coach mentioned, the pace really has been what Edison likes to play, but I think Westfield has done enough of limiting that a little bit, and then also be able to go ahead and work in their half-court games, scoring points by going down to Zach Elcano. And I really think that's what this team works best. And it's not necessarily Elcano scoring all the points. It's more of getting him those touches. And usually that's what you'll see when a team has a top-notch big man. If you can get him a touch, usually either he'll score or the defense will collapse on him and he'll get guys looks from the outside. Really, Westwood hasn't knocked those down, but they've been able to really score and open things up and get Elcano some points, and that's one of the reasons they have the 1-point lead they have here at the half.
Great testament to the team defense being played by both these squads, though. It's such a low-scoring game here in this first half.
Yeah, and really some guys getting in the passing lanes, causing turnovers, and just the pace kind of turning it where guys are making those errant passes where it just their mind isn't working as fast as their body, and they may think this guy's going to be there, and he's completely gone because everything's running at a faster pace. That's kind of what's happening a little bit, but again, both sides playing pretty well, and I expect a pretty good second half as well.
And again, as we said, both these schools have already qualified for the Virginia State Tournament, which starts next week. So they don't have to worry about that, but they do have another 16 minutes of basketball to play before we crown the Northern Region Championship for 2012.
And most definitely, you want that trophy, you want that piece of the net as you cut them down after you win it. So that's going to be big in the second half. Both teams looking to go ahead and get that big victory and really have some big times up and get some momentum going into the state tournament starting up later in the week.
All right, before second half starts, go ahead, run to the bathroom, run to the kitchen, get something to drink. We'll be back with second half action. You're watching allmetsports.com, the Northern Region Championship game, coming to you live from Robinson Secondary School. Doug Ewell, head coach of the Westfield Bulldogs, working his way back out on the court as both teams have come back out. Matt Fetters along with Jeremy Huber, a 22-21 lead for the Westfield Bulldogs. Jeremy, I just got a feeling this one's going to come down to the wire.
I think you very well may be right, Matt, though I think if I were to kind of put out a wager, I think if it is going to be a team that pulls away from it, I think it might be more likely that it would be Westfield, just because I think they're going to have a little more consistent scoring. We've seen Zach Elcano, the big 6'11 center, get good touches down low. Edison really hasn't been able to limit that, and really that's keeping the scoring consistent. That's what I think happens a lot of times at high school basketball, where you'll see a team kind of pull away. It's because one team will miss a couple times down the court, won't get those good consistent shots the other team does, and you're looking at a 10-point spread, then it's a completely different game. But I think you may be very well right. We're going down to the wire in this one more than likely here at Robinson.
Speaking of scoring for the Westfield Bulldogs in that first half, Basil with 3, CJ Hill with 4, Perry with 2, Gibson with 2, and Zach Elcano leading all scorers with 11. And before we get to the Edison Eagles, let's check in with Brian Hoffman.
Thanks, guys. I spoke with Edison head coach Terry Henderson as he came out of the locker room. He said to me that he feels good heading into the second half, but he did stress to his team to take care of the basketball. They had a few fast break opportunities that they threw away, but he did also mention that Marcus Brunzi Jr. did not play the entire second quarter. They only trailed by a point. So, like I said, he feels good, and we'll send it back to you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Brian. For the Edison Eagles, LaSalle Mensa with 5 points in that first half. Tyrone McCall with 7. Chief Amoa with 5. Matt Murphy with 4 brings us to the 21 points for the Edison Eagles in that first period.
And Matt, I believe right now they're handing out the all Northern Region team, or at least tournament team, one of the two. And interestingly enough, they're doing it at halftime, so that's going to be, it's almost like, I guess you could say, for those high schools that have the homecoming court as opposed to just the homecoming, the girls do it. So you would have to kind of go out in the middle of your football game if you made it as a guy, go get your award, and then go back and play the second half. Usually you see this at the end, but I guess it's being a Monday, maybe they want to get the kids home a little bit earlier and not do the ceremonies after the game.
So you're all region, but you still have a half to play. Don't forget, for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. Allmetsports.com, every school, every sport, all the time.
And obviously, you'll be able to follow everything, as it's said, on allmetsports.com, and with the state tournaments coming up in basketball, a lot of teams from the area are going to be playing down all over the place, and you're going to get all that action and all the what's going on at allmetsports.com.
And don't go away as we move to the spring sports season. Lacrosse is going to come hot and heavy, and you're going to see live lacrosse action right here at allmetsports.com throughout the spring. So just go ahead and bookmark this page right here and come on back throughout the spring.
Already seen some very good games. The Concord District Finals for both guys and the girls. Saw Westfield and Oakton in those matchups. Also the Virginia AAA State Wrestling Championships as well here at Robinson High School. That was a fun event to go ahead. I had the pleasure of broadcasting that one. Also seeing top-notch teams like DeMatha and Montrose Christian as well in some of our games. So, and you got a chance to see Georgetown Prep,
right?
And Bullis, so two good teams there. So very, very interesting what we've seen so far at allmetsports.com.
Okay, we've got a fresh 8 minutes on the clock. We're ready to start second half action. The winner will be crowned the 2012 Northern Region champ, but both teams will advance on to the Virginia State Tournament. Bulldogs start the second half with the basketball. Now Zach Elcano will move down low after being up high. CJ Hill looking for some help. Gibson now backs it up and sets it up for Westfield. 7:30 to play in the third. All the way up and in. Quentin Basil. Basil with 5.
And I think right there, Westfield wanted to draw Elcano away from the basket to get the big man Murphy away. to give Basil a driving lane to get to the bucket.
And it worked perfectly, didn't it? Now Murphy from outside. He's been taking that shot throughout this ball game. Here comes Rosa. Rosa stops, pops for three, too strong. Murphy up with it. Brumsey now stops. Oh, doesn't get the bounce. Kick it back up top, and Amoa up with the rebound, and he'll reset for the Edison Eagles. McCall got it.
McCall is a finisher. He's able to go ahead and get those shots up on the rim and usually gets them to fall.
McCall with 9. Inside 6.5 to go in the third. 24-23, Westfield. Elcano, too short. Brumsey kicks it off. Can't get it to go to Amoa. Gibson now, up tempo here to start the second half. Gibson gets the roll.
That was surprising. Edison let him get all the way to the rim on that. Probably could have taken a charge, but no one stepped in.
Gibson with 4. Inside 6 minutes to play in the third period. A 3-point lead for Westfield. Amoa for 3.
Edison settling for those outside shots. Probably better served trying to work the ball in a little bit more than they have. At least get the big man a touch.
Michael kicks out Rosa for 3. He can hit him, but he's been cold tonight. Spin. Elcano there with the deflection. And McCall will be fouled.
Quentin Basil going down the lane there and really showed off those wide receiver skills as he had to reach back and get that pass and bring it back in so there would be a foul instead of a turnover. And we mentioned before, Basil, a guy who was the top player in the district, but is actually going on the JUCO ranks to play football in Arizona.
Brumsey charged with the foul against Basil, his third.
Stay with him. Okay. Go get that ball. Go get it. There you go.
Gibson decides to take it all the way and gets it. Mark Gibson with 6. Biggest lead of the night for the Bulldogs, up 5 now, 28-23.
Gibson's a gutsy kid with second team in his district this year. Obviously can play some basketball.
Make it good. Make it good. Make it good. Where's your friend? Where are your friends?
The Eagles lose the handle and turn it over to the Bulldogs.
Brumsey going to take a seat and maybe still a little bit off kilter from those 2 fouls landing him on the bench in the first half.
Mike Counts in the ballgame for Edison. Up and off the glass. Quentin Basil. Basil with 7. And it's a 7-point lead for Westfield. And the Edison Eagles want a timeout with 4:15 to play in the third.
That's going to be a full timeout. And like I said before we came into the second half, I thought what would really pull this game apart could be the fact that Westfield getting consistent scoring while Edison maybe putting up some quick shots. That's what's happened here in the early going. Edison really been a little bit too quick. They kind of almost ignored Matt Murphy down the post, while Westfield early on got the ball to Zach Elcano, went ahead and let him do some work, and then kind of brought some things off that with Quentin Basil, some other guys getting to the hoop.
Westfield Bulldogs, the Concord District regular season champs, lost their tournament final to Robinson, 62-60. They've got some unfinished business here tonight for the Northern Region Championship game. Zach Elcano doing a great job down low for Westfield, and that's one of the reasons why Edison has to settle for those outside shots. If you want a copy of this one, go to synthesismp.com, order your own DVD.
And credit Westfield as well for going ahead, the defenders, for kind of staying with their men and forcing him into Elcano so he's able to block the shots, as opposed to them being able to go ahead, get into his body and score that way, or at least get the foul line and get the big man in foul trouble.
4:13 to play in the third. A 7-point lead for Westfield, their biggest lead of the game. Mensah to Counts. Counts from the top of the key for three, just short. All right, let's check in with Brian Hoffman.
Thanks, guys. Coach Henderson in that last Edison huddle urged his team to work the ball inside offensively and defensively. While he was very happy with them in the first half, not so much to start this second half, he pleaded with them to turn up that defensive intensity. Back to you.
Edison Eagles turning up the offensive intensity right there with the Mackel breakaway for two. Give him 11 points tonight. Cuts the lead to 5 with 3:25. Gibson for three. Bulldogs answer right back with the 3 ball. Edison Eagles a little rattled here. Turns it right over to Westfield.
And Edison's really got out of the full court pressure, trying to go a little more with the half court stuff. Now they'll come back into it.
Back it to Gibson, down to Elcano. Wide open for three. Yes, sir! Quentin Basil. And just like that, it's an 11-point lead for Westfield, their biggest margin tonight. Still going to be Edison basketball underneath.
That came very close to coming off of Mensah's leg. The referee thought it went straight out off the Westfield player.
Murphy trying to do battle, has it stripped. Beckett pushes it ahead. Rosa will bring it back out. Elcano, nice.
Gotta love the ball movement right now for Westfield. They're kicking the ball around and really getting good looks against the Edison D.
Elcano with 13, and that's the margin now with 2:24 to play in the third. Mensah back up to Chief Amoa. He'll set it up. Approaching 2 minutes to play in the third period. Counts into Murphy. Murphy backs his way in and bulldozes over Zach Elcano.
Murphy questioning the call a little bit, but really had to put the big backside into Elcano and toppled him over. And really, I think just a little bit of not panic setting in, but a little bit of uneasiness where you think we got to go ahead and get that bucket instead of just kind of going ahead, slowly backing him down and leaning on him and then make the turnaround, try real quick to just go ahead and get it up on the rim, and the referee blows the whistle.
Murphy picking up his first foul. 2 minutes even to play here in the third. 38-25, Westfield Bulldogs on top.
Edison's back in that full court pressure. They got to get some turnovers, I think, to start this thing going back their way.
Counts on Gibson. Gibson has no problem getting it up across the mid-stripe. Gibson kicks it into Elcano off the glass. No. Gibson with the putback in the 2.
How does Gibson get that open underneath the basket? That's the second rebound I believe he's had on a putback so far. Only 5'11", but knows where to be.
Coming right back with the big shot, Tyrone McCall. 40-27 Westfield, 1:12 to go here in the third. Westfield taking their time, 1 minute to play here in the third. Beckett now backs it up. Beckett kicks it out. Looks like Bulldogs may be playing for the last shot here. 40 seconds to go in the third. Let's check in with Daniel Zimmett.
Coach Yule is really talking to his players about spreading the ball around. He wants them to pass it from wing to wing to be able to get open shots. He really thinks Edison's defense is motionless and it's not really being able to get across on their rotation defense. So look for them to start to get more outside shots as opposed to keeping the ball inside. Back to you.
Thanks, Daniel. Right there, the Eagles collapse down on top of Mark Gibson, caused the turnover. 21 seconds to go here in the third period.
That's the one thing you don't want to do against this Edison defense. Let them go ahead and get you in a trapping situation. And Westfield's done a pretty good job of that so far, of keeping that court spread out and not giving the Eagles a chance to go ahead, get the traps and get the turnovers that come off of it.
40-27, Westfield Bulldogs on top of the Edison Eagles. Winner takes home the 2012 Northern Region Championship crown. 21.5 on the clock here in the third.
So again here, as Westfield's going to go ahead and look for the last shot with just 21.5 seconds left. It's big if they can hit a 3 or a 2 here, make this a 15-point game. That's a heck of a mountain to overcome in 1 quarter of play.
Chauncey Beckett now works it up for the Bulldogs. 10 seconds to play in the third. Zach Elcano off the glass.
Wonderful pick and roll there as he takes it in and gets a nice pass.
Elcano with 15. Won't go. We've played 3. It's a 42-27 lead for the Westfield Bulldogs.
And I tell you, Zach Elcano is showing off that skill set that has him as a verbal commit over to to American University, as he's really shown a nice inside offensive game, some hooks, some baby hooks, that he's been able to pass it as well. Also has been able to go ahead and shown his prowess as a shot blocker down low too. So he's a guy at 6'11" right now, what I think would bring a lot to the table for American or a team of that caliber, going in again, be able to score on the offensive end. Really tough for those big men early on. He's got a pretty nice offensive game.
Mark Gibson with 11 for Westfield, and Zach Elcano with 15, and Quentin Basil with 10. All 3 of those players in double figures for the Westfield Bulldogs. For the Edison Eagles, it's McCall with 13. He's the only one who's reached the double-digit margin here for Edison.
And I tell you, you look at it, and I think that's been a key to the game right there. You mentioned McCall, the only guy with double-figure scoring. Well, Matt Murphy's our leading scorer, averaging almost 15 a game, and it's not the big man's fault, really. It's more the fact his teammates haven't been able to find the ball and get it to him in good situations for him to score, be it tempo or just being not that patient. That may be something here at Edison, if they have a chance to, may want to go ahead and go to. The problem is they've got to go ahead and put some pressure on the ball and make some shots, and he may have to be out of the game for them to accomplish that.
Fresh 8 minutes on the clock as we begin our 4th and final period here tonight. 42-27 Westfield. The black and gold have been in controls. They had a 1-point lead at halftime, stretched it out considerably. The bang in the bucket, Mackel.
Going Quentin Basil, and probably a foul you don't want to go ahead and commit in that situation. He's got good position. You've got the big lead. Let it go. Don't let him go to the foul line and add the extra point when the time stopped.
Basil picks up his 3rd. McCall to the line. Can't finish the 3-point play. Look at that Edison Eagle hustle to hold on to this possession.
That's big. This has turned into a 5-point possession here with a 3.
And that's a 2-ball. Drops for Marcus Brumsey.
They're making a 4-point possession instead, but down to an 11-point lead. Just 30 seconds gone here.
Swarming pressure now from the Edison Eagles. Julius Rosa gets bumped on that one. Don't forget, for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. allmetsports.com, every school, every sport, all the time. 7:15 left in this one, a 42-31 lead for the Westfield Bulldogs over the Edison Eagles.
Mike Counts is going to pick that foul up just to reach in. He's standing there, and Obviously, you're going to have to go ahead and try and create some steals, but probably better if you're going to go ahead and try to foul at that point. Might want to, in a more situation, you're going to maybe get the call from the referee as opposed to reaching around from behind. Almost always, that's going to be a foul call.
Gibson does a great job of working his way around the Edison defense. All the way up and in. Held ball will be the call.
But for Coach Henderson for Edison, that's what you want. The possession arrow keeps it with Westfield, but plays like that where you go ahead and get the ball, turnovers, you're going to need that with no shot clock.
Daniel Zimmett told us that Coach Ewell wants his Bulldogs to spread the court, and they continue to do so. Looking for an opening somewhere. Zach Elcano, nice footwork for the bucket.
You said it, Matt. Wonderful footwork from the 6'11" big man. He's tall, but he's not the biggest guy in the world, so those feet are pretty daggone good. Showed it there.
Zach was 17. Back to a 13-point lead for Westfield. 6.5 to go. Rosa charged with the foul. That'll be his second. LaSalle Mensa to the line. Mensa perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line tonight. Had 5 back in the first period. He's been scoreless the rest of the way up until that free throw. Can't get the roll. Still Edison ball. Just able to hold on to his Derek Miranda. Brumsey now. Counts for 3. And count it.
Big shot, gets it under 10. Right now, Edison's gone ahead and under 2 minutes have cut that lead down from 15 to 9.
And this is the reason why, this pressure.
And you knew the run was going to come, Matt. You knew the run was going to come. The question is, could Westfield go ahead and hold it off? But right now, Edison has it going their way, creating turnovers and getting Westfield just a little off kilter.
Marcus Brumsey to the line. Just a sophomore, bangs down the first. CJ Hill sits down for the Bulldogs. Mark Gibson back in. Just inside 6 minutes to go in this game. Can't get the back half.
That's so important for Edison to make those free throws to set up their full court pressure.
Rosa will take it. Can't get it. Miranda down with the rebound. Brumsey brings it up. Mensa fouled on the way.
It'll be big on who this gets called on. This be Elcano. If they'd been on Basil, might have been a problem.
To the line, LaSalle Mensa. Can the Bulldogs withstand the heat here of the Edison Eagles? Mensa misses the front end.
I think Basil's going to go and get a blow on the bench. You have to think Coach Ewell will get him back in pretty quickly after this to really use his rebounding, but we also need the guard play against this Edison pressure.
Mensa 4 of 6 from the free throw line tonight. 7 points in the ball game. Now just a 7-point lead for Westfield with 5.5 minutes to go. The Bulldogs having a tough time against this Edison Eagle defense.
Got the mismatch down low. Elcano against a much smaller defender. Now they correct it.
Gibson loses it. Beckett comes up with it. Timeout, Doug Ewell. 5:04 to play. His Bulldogs up 44-37.
Ewell not happy with something from Zach Elcano, I think, as he went over the big man and looking up to him, but definitely was giving him what for. And I tell you, that's one of the things, that last possession, it looked like Westfield not ready to pull the trigger against that Edison pressure. There were a couple open looks, but guys kind of wait that split second to say, am I sure this is a good pass? Right now, you just got to kind of trust the instincts and say, if he's open, I got to get it to him. It might be our best chance to make a bucket.
They went to Elcano a lot there in the second period. He had 6 up and unders. Don't forget, for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, go to allmetsports.com. A product of the Washington Post. allmetsports.com. Every school, every sport, all the time.
We hear the two student sections battling back and forth, and very good representation from both Edison and Westfield tonight.
And if you're amongst that student section, I'm sure you want a copy of this one. Go to synthesismp.com to order a DVD of this great classic Northern Region Championship game. 5:04 on the clock. 44-37 Westfield. Let's see if the Bulldogs have an answer to this Edison Eagle defense that has been shrinking the lead. Beckett all the way, can't get it to fall. Back over now to Daniel Zimmett.
I got a chance to listen into the Westfield huddle during that last timeout. Coach Ewell was really talking about how he wants his players to pass a little less. What he called it was they're being too pass happy. When they break Edison's press in the backcourt, a lot of time their players are open. He wants them to take those shots from the outside and not look to pass it to someone else. Back to you.
Beckett misses the first. Almost halfway through this fourth period, and Westfield only points coming from Zach Elcano with a pair. There, Beckett buries the back end.
That's kind of what we were talking about. If you're Westfield, you get open looks, you're going to have to take them because they're not many going to come.
3 off the front of the iron. Elcano with the rebound.
And really right now, Matt, we're looking at a 4-guard lineup for Westfield with Elcano on the court. Basil really is more of a forward, though he has some guard skills.
Gibson kicks it out to Rosa, back to Gibson. Westfield continues to attempt to spread the floor. Off the foot of Mensa, it will still be Bulldog basketball.
And I think Beckett looking for some help there to come up when they start to try for the double team, to come up a little bit closer and bail him out.
Approaching 4 minutes remaining in the ballgame. Rosa for 3. There you go.
Boom. He hit some big ones in the Concord District Tournament. That's another big one there. Extend that lead out.
That's his first bucket tonight. They've been waiting for him to wake up. Offensive foul charged against Derek Miranda.
And I tell you what, a lot of times people look down on that when you have the big center that's willing to take a charge. Well, I was watching a college game a couple weeks ago with Syracuse. We know all the height they have. They really help create themselves a win by their bigs being willing to take those charges. So many times you'll see guys just go flying in thinking, this guy's going to block my shot. If you're willing to take the charge as a big, a lot of times you'll get your team 2 or 3 possessions that you normally wouldn't get.
Chris Perry doing double duty here tonight for Westfield. He had to come out and mop up the floor a little bit, then come back out and inbound the basketball. 48-37 Westfield, 3:40 to play. Beckett all the way in. Elcano, no basket. Beckett will go to the free throw line.
We're going to say that was actually on a shot. Would have been a 1-and-1 because that's the 17th foul on Edison.
Chauncey Beckett with 2 points, looking for his third. Trying to put his Bulldogs up by 13. Got them both. Beckett 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Up and off the glass. Nice putback to bang in the bucket. Tyrone McCall.
Again, you're Doug Ewell, you can't be happy with that. Mark Gibson even knew it. He put the jersey over his head, saying, why did I give that foul right there? Let him take the 2. Don't let him get the chance for 3 with the clock stop.
McCall trying to make it a 10-point margin, can't get it. Edison struggling from the free throw line tonight. And swarming on top of Julius Rosa. He'll shoot some free throws.
It's a little overzealous on the trap. It looked like it was going to be a good trap set up, and Counts just got a little bit close with that length. Go ahead and just keep those arms up. Make him make a mistake. Don't bail him out by bumping into him and give him the foul.
Mike Counts picks up his second personal. Rosa can't convert. And they're going to say the Eagles went for a walk. Goes right back to the Bulldogs with 3:20 to play.
That was a gamble by Beckett there. He ran by. If Counts was able to keep his dribble, that's probably an easy layup, but instead, Beckett causes him to pick the dribble up, move the feet. It's a travel and back to Westfield.
50-39 Westfield. Approaching 3 minutes left in the ball game.
Edison, you've got to find ways to score and score quickly.
Fouled before he could kick it out. That'll send Marcus Brumsey. Nope, it's going to be inbounded. Edison basketball.
With 16 fouls on on Westfield, so the next one will put Edison in the bonus.
Murphy will take the 3 ball. Edison basketball out of bounds.
We almost lost our cameras there. It's Quentin Basil, not Quentin Basil, Chauncey Beckett showing some quick feet to go ahead, try to save the ball, but then avoid our cameras.
Rosa with the steal, and can't convert.
And I tell you what, if he would have known that Quentin Basil was coming from behind, you never want to tell your guys to do this at the high school level. He could have gone with that alley-oop off the glass, and I think Basil may be able to go ahead and put it home. Might have been a better play because he didn't have the angle on the defender.
Chief Amoa now swings it around to Mensah. Now Brumsey. Murphy for 3. Count it! Matt Murphy with 7. Back to an 8-point margin. Here come the Eagles right back. Fortunate foul there on Brumsey.
We thought the run might be done, but right now Edison fights back again and with a chance to cut this lead down to 6 with just 2:18 left on the clock. Still plenty of time for the Eagles.
Brumsey doesn't get the bounce. He'll get another. And Brumsey cuts the lead to 7.
If you want to make one, you want to get that one because you can set your pressure defense up.
And they're doing just that. Mark Gibson now will have to bring it up for the Bulldogs. Edison Eagles hanging around, not giving up. Beckett all the way. Gets it.
Gutsy little move by the guy. He gets down there, and what a play.
Beckett with 5, all in the 4th. Murphy, no. Inside 2 minutes to go. Gibson with the jam. Hooked and Basil.
Thank you very much. And the student section is going crazy.
Foul's going to be charged on Matt Murphy. Now an 11-point lead with 1:36 to play. Westfield Bulldogs are starting to feel it.
And that mini run there so huge by Westfield as it looked like Edison had turned things around. Some worried looks by the Bulldogs, but then the great play by Beckett to take it to the hole and score, and then the dump by Basil back out to a it could be a double-digit lead.
Zach Elcano. Can't get it. Here come the Eagles. Chief Amoa, nice dish. Rumsey can't convert, but he'll shoot some free throws.
And that's a good foul there by Beckett. It's only his second. They need him out there for ball handling, but the way Edison shot the free throws, you want to make them earn it at the line if you can make sure they don't get an and one situation.
Back to a 10-point margin. Rumsey gets them both. Back to single digits, 54-45, 1:31 to play.
And now Coach Henderson going to get counts back into the game for some three-point shooting, I would assume.
Mark Gibson gets it off to Chauncey Beckett. Bulldogs eating up this clock, 1:13 to go. Gibson all the way, got it! Gibson with 13.
That's the issue when you have to pressure like that. If you have guys get off the dribble and get their own shot, it opens up some opportunities.
We're now inside a minute to go. Amoa with the bucket. Amoa with 7. 56-47 Westfield. Timeout with 53 seconds to play in the ballgame.
That's a full timeout. So right now in the huddle, you'd have to think that Terry Henderson is talking to his team and going over the scenarios, what they want to do. I would think if I'm Coach Henderson, I'm telling my guys, look, we're going to go about 5 seconds or so looking for that steal, and then I'm going to start yelling foul, and when I do, you got to go ahead and get the guy right away. We got to send him to the line and hope they start missing shots. But again, the way Edison's been able to create turnovers throughout the game, you have to take the chance that you can knock a ball or two loose and score that way, because I just don't think Westfield's going to miss enough free throws that's going to lead to Edison being able to come back without some of those breaks on turnovers. It just isn't going to happen. They're going to have to do it that way.
Westfield 6 of 10 from the free throw line tonight. Don't forget, you want a copy of this one, go to synthesismp.com, order your own DVD.
And this is one of the times that with high school sports it's a little different. In college, you know, you have guys' free throw shooting percentages. You know the guy to foul when you don't. In high school, it's really tough to find that information sometimes. And this, you're just taking a chance saying, who can we foul and put on the line if we have to?
Beckett just gets it into Basil. Now Zach Elcano will distribute. Gibson. 3-on-1. Off to Rosa. And Basil fouled. He'll go to the line.
I think the strategy there by Coach Henderson of the Eagles was, hey, we'll try maybe for the 10-second call. If we can get the turnover that way, fine. If not, we'll go ahead and give the foul.
Basil in the semifinal game hit 3 of 4 from the free throw line against McLean.
He's a big money player, as evidenced by winning the Player of the Year in the district.
Gets the first, doesn't get the second, back to a 10-point lead.
Rosa with a nice steal there. Edison just wasn't paying attention. He stuck around after the shot was missed, and now he'll go to the line.
Rosa was 3 for 3 from the free throw line in that semifinal game. And he's 0 for 2 here tonight. Can't get them either to fall. Rumsey brings it back up. Now Amoa with the floater. Elcano down with it, loses it. Rosa foul. 22 seconds to play, a 10-point lead.
That should just about do it. We'll see if Coach Henderson tells his guys no more fouls. Westfield will shoot their 2 here, and we'll see what Edison does after that. But looks like it'll be that regional championship for Westfield, and well deserved.
A lot of the fans think this one's over. They're starting to file out here. Rosa, there he puts down the free throw.
Doug Ewell still coaching away on the sidelines.
Rosa with 5 tonight, all coming in the 4th. Bulldogs not going to make it easy on these Edison Eagles. Inside 20 seconds remaining. Rosa with the steal. And the bang in the bucket.
And that'll do it, and I believe Westfield's going to be taking those nets to the west to hang up in that trophy case.
Their first appearance in the Northern Region Championship game, and they make good use of it as they'll take home their first Northern Region trophy. Rosa completes the 3-point play. There's the jam for the highlight reel from Brumsey. Clock stopped. They thought there was a whistle, but there they finally let it hit zeros, and the Westfield Bulldogs are the 2012 Northern Region champions, 62-49 over the Edison Eagles.
A great performance by Westfield in this contest, and a good job, really, like we said. I thought if one team would pull away, it would be Westfield. They were able to do it by, again, kind of getting the ball into Zach Elcano, working from there. They finally got a couple 3-pointers to drop, opened up the Edison defense, and then weathered that pressure defense storm that you knew was coming. They weathered it really twice, ended up going ahead and getting the win, and now the fans storming the court. And the only thing you hope here is that none of these players get injured, as they got an important game coming up this weekend right back here at Robinson.
Life's good when you're the king, and the Bulldogs are the kings of the Northern Region this year.
I tell you, the smartest guy on that Westfield team was Quentin Basil, because he ran to the edge of the huddle and then jumped around a little bit and didn't get in the middle of it where everybody was piling on top of each other. Always that feeling that you want to go ahead and celebrate, but you got to remember, oh yeah, we got some more games to play, guys. We got to come out of this healthy.
Scoring for the Westfield Bulldogs unofficially, Rosa with 8, Quentin Basil with 13, Chauncey Beckett with 5, CJ Hill with 4, Chris Perry with a pair, Mark Gibson with 13, and leading all the Westfield Bulldogs scorers, Zach Elcano with 17 unofficially. Make sure you check the Washington Post tomorrow for the official scores. And right on cue, Daniel Zimmett has Mr. Elcano and Coach Ewell.
I'm here with Coach Ewell and Zach Elcano of the new region champion Westfield Bulldogs. Coach, what kind of halftime adjustments did you make to extend this lead and be able to pull this out?
We just talked about taking care of the ball in the second half and continue to do what we did defensively. I thought we gave up some layups in the first half offensively that created points, so we had to do a better job of taking care of the ball in the second half, and which helped us defensively. What kind of momentum does this give you now going into the state tournament? I don't even know about that right now. I'm just going to celebrate this, and we'll worry about that tomorrow.
Now, Zach, what does this mean to you to win this game?
I mean, it's great. I've been working for it for 3 years, and it's fine. 3 years of struggle, and finally we got the regional championship. It feels great.
You had a ton of students here tonight, ton of parents, ton of fans. What does that mean to you to have them all show up like that?
I mean, it's just great. We know our school supports us, to be behind us 100%, and just hopefully show up for the state tournament.
Congratulations. Go enjoy your championship. Back to you guys.
As we said, Zach Elcano finishing the night with 17 points for these Westfield Bulldogs. Edison Eagles unofficially, LaSalle Mensa with 7, Marcus Brumsey with 7, McCall with 17, Counts with 3, Amoa with 7, and Matt Murphy with 7. 62-49, Westfield Bulldogs are the champs. I don't know if you could see it, but as Daniel Zimmett was introducing Coach Ewell there, and he said, here they are, the Northern Region champs, the look on Doug Ewell's face was priceless.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a part of this program for a while. He's been the head coach. This is his 8th year, and to go ahead and get a win like this, so big for this program. And again, it's one of those things where when you're the basketball coach at what's kind of been traditionally known as a football school, it's always really big to go ahead and get that victory and make sure the kids in the school know, hey, we can win something in basketball as well. You come out and play for us, we're going to be able to go ahead and compete for championships as well. That's always a big thing. And again, you look at these guys out there, had some very good players, but again, really a total team effort to go ahead and get this big victory and finally get Westfield a regional championship in basketball, as well as the many they've had in football.
Well, and how about these Edison Eagles? They just kept hanging around, didn't give up, and they kept cutting that margin, but they just couldn't quite wrap it up.
Yeah, and if you look at it, I mean, really, they had the pressure defense, and that was big, and I think it's been part of their calling card. The one problem I saw for them was they really could never get their half-court offense going at a consistent level. They were getting putbacks by Tyrone McCall, great game by him, but it seemed like they could never really get Matt Murphy into the flow of the game. That ended up hurting them, I think, as we went along. They were kind of relying on the turnovers and the steals, that type of thing, could never get that consistent scoring, while really Westfield could with Elcano. When they really needed to score, or at least set some up to score, they got to the big man. Either he put it in the bucket or set someone else up out on the perimeter.
Well, and as these Bulldogs will ride their momentum into the state tourney, Edison Eagles are going to have to leave this one behind and regroup and move on to the state tournament.
They will, and I tell you what, it's one of those things that I think maybe their system plays pretty well in the States. You see a team with pressure defense, it's always hard to replicate. We'll see what happens, though, when they move on, but they'll be able to go ahead. They can turn people over. They'll be able to have success in the state tournament.
All right, that'll do it for us here tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're glad you found us on your laptop, your tablet, or even your smartphone. You can always tune in here at allmetsports.com for the new home of Washington, D.C. area live high school sports. I'm Matt Fetters along with Jeremy Huber, Brian Hoffman, and Daniel Zimmett. Thanks for joining us. Once again, your final score, Westfield Bulldogs 62-49 victors over the Edison Eagles. They are your 2012 Northern Region champs. Good night.